Hi all. Right, back to 1862 and into this second operating round of the phase C we're into now. One thing I forgot to do at the end, we're going into the round there, is just put that up there just to remind us that unless we purchase one of them, it'll take 2 trains away rather than the one. Okay, so our first operation is going to be with FDR. Hang on. Something else I forgot as well, isn't it? I talked about the trains going away, but they're still here. So all the A trains would rust. This one's alright. These are A trains. What fiddle I get hold of? I've not sleeved these cards. Man, they're quite a thick type of card. That one's alright as well. It's the one underneath. And to be honest, I didn't have sleeves. I could do with buying more sleeves for some other games, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to sleeve them. And the tableau stuff up the top, like I say, they're quite a thick type of card, and I'm not so sure trying to lay them all out with sleeves on them would be a good idea anyway, so I might not bother. I generally do sleeve everything, but it's a different type of card, this. So, right, so we lost 4 trains there. But that was going to happen. It was going to happen at some point. Right, so FDR's first one to operate, and it's got it's right up the top now, it's got a 2-3. There's still some glare coming in the window there, but if I close in on it, I wonder about putting that other light on. Hang on. It doesn't look like it improved removing the glare anyway, but I'll just leave it off for now. And they've got a B train, so it's a 2-3, and they've got a share in themselves, and they've not got a lot of money. Well, none of the companies do now. So I think it's time to start thinking about getting them. However, we also want to make sure that we're going to be able to start one more company, and it was going to be the WNF, wasn't it? We can get 3 shares of that for that local, so I think we definitely want to be getting enough for that. So minimum is what, 162. We've got 150. I think I'd like to start at a bit higher if I could though. So as long as I can run something here and get some money, then maybe I'll leave the rest for the actual company to take for themselves. Okay, so FDR to start with. And where are they again? They're down here, yeah, okay. Right, so what we're going to do there, bear in mind we've got a 2-3 express. Right, so I think for them, obviously they'd like to try and head towards London. I could place a tile in here, get them to London. Now, placing a token in London counts as your trackway for the turn, or your upgrade. You can either lay 2 pieces of track, or if it's an end tile, only 1 piece of track. You can or you can upgrade a piece of track, 1 piece of track, or you can place a token in London. That's the other thing that comes into that, but it doesn't count as your token placement of the turn though, so you could place a token in London and something else. But we need track into London first. So that would set up for that, but the fact that we're on a 2-3 train at the moment, we're not going to be able to buy a C train, which was only a 3 express anyway, so we want to be targeting to get the D train, and the D train costs, that wee card's quite handy actually, isn't it? I'll keep that closer to hand, I think. I hadn't really looked at that before. The D train costs £360, so obviously there's some C trains to get through yet, but I don't think we want a C train for that guy. Maybe one of the other guys will have, and then that'll move us on with 2 C trains, Yeah, maybe. Okay, so I'm thinking rather than track along there or track up there, we just upgrade this end tile to get a bit better score. So the green N is this one. So it needs to go, so it can either go that way or that way. Oh well, no, I'm lying. It can only go that way because we can't come down through that red barrier. And actually there's a special tile when it comes to the brown. There's an Ipswich tile for that. So we're going in that way. You see that boosted that from 40 to 60, so it's an extra £20 we'll get. And so that's a track lay. We're not going to token. We're going to run our 2-3 express from Denmark, if you like. 1, 2, 3, and the one we're not going to score is this one, which is 20. So we're going to score. Remember, we're in the second band. Oops, sorry, we're in the second band now. C and D, C to D. So it's 100. So it's 160 we're getting. I've got a feeling I think I want to keep that for the company this time. What is he getting? 16. So he would only get a 1 bump with that. Just looking across at the stock market there. He's only going to get a 1 bump. I know I want to get some money from the company. This is what I need to think ahead for. Who's going to buy the C train? I think it's going to be one of these two. I've got to make sure and get the money for it though, because it's what, 280 was it? And then if we only buy one C train, he's going to remove the last C train, and we're not actually going to be in the D phase yet. And just to let you know, the trigger at the end of the game actually starts when the first D train has been bought, although it goes through a bit of procedure. So it's not a long game. It's just it gets a bit thinky as you get into the last few sort of operating rounds. Well, to be honest, not even see the last 3 operating rounds aren't that thinky, to be honest. It's really the 3 in between that, but just leading up to that. So once you buy your first D train, you've got to then go through 3 operating rounds. So that probably doesn't happen right away. So then you go into 3 operating rounds. Then the LNER becomes formed, which is the trigger of the end game. And then you have 1 more stock round and 3 more operating rounds with some conditions attached to them, but we'll get to that. Okay. So that would not have a D train purchase, but I think that's fine. Yeah, I think that's fine. So I need to make sure one of these guys, because 160, I don't think that would be enough. We need to make sure one of these is going to get a C train. Or do we care? Well, I think so, because, well, no, that's not the case actually, because if we don't buy a train at all, he's going to remove, alright, I'll just show you. There's 2 C trains left. So if we weren't to buy one, he would take both of them away actually. If we don't buy a train at all. If we do buy one, he'll take the last one away. So either or, the last 2 are going, it doesn't matter what we do. That's the lamp up the top, isn't it? No. It's the lights right above me, that wee bit of glare in the middle there. Okay. I actually don't think any of our companies are going to be able to afford to buy a C train, funnily enough. So maybe we should just not care about them and work towards the D trains. Because you get a D train, they don't rust until a G train arrives. But like I was saying to you, the trains become less and less as we go on. So, right, okay. So we've ran FDR for, what did I say, 160? So it's back, was it 160? Yeah. It was 100 out the port. Yeah, skipping the 20. So it was 160. So 16 per share. We've only got 2 shares now. He's got a share himself in the company as well. So if we pay it out, he would have got £16. But I think I'm going to withhold that. So when you withhold, unfortunately, you drop back, and then he gets £160 to his treasury. So 100. I mean, I'm going to have to do that again to be able to afford a train anyway, next turn sometime. So that's that. He's not going to buy a train. He's not going to purchase. He's not going to redeem anything or acquire a company. Yeah. Okay. Right. So moving on. So I'm thinking they're maybe all going to do that. Well, no, because I want some money, don't I? I want somebody to pay out. So which one's it going to be? WSTL or the LNH, or I suppose the WNR. Might be the WNR actually, because we want it bumped up a bit. Yeah, I was just looking at the WNR to see what they're going to do, and I've maybe made a bit of a mess of that, really, haven't I? Because it's got a 3 freight, which remember, that's 3 hexes it can cross. So from there, 1, 2, but I can't do that. I've explained earlier that because it's a single train, you cannot go from port to port. If it was a 1 freight and a 2 freight, I believe that I could do that. But because it's just one train, I don't think I can. So it's going to be a bit of a poor run, that, because I can't even. All I can do track wise is upgrade. Whereas maybe if I pointed this down this way, I could have put a bit of track down into Norwich, and then had a 1, 2, 3 run that would have scored Norwich and the port and got 2 hexes in between. So there you go. It's easy to, and then I could always have upgraded later to put that up into that port if it was going to be of use. That was silly. See, I'm still learning. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think the WNR, they're only going to pay out. Oh, we can upgrade one of them to what, a 30, can't we? 1, 2. So being 90, 120, and then 30 in between. I suppose it's 150. 150 is actually a 3 bump for them. And so £15 a share would give me 45. That's 150. That'd be 195. Divided by 3. Oh god. I don't have my calculator. Well, I was using my phone before, but the phone's doing the recording. And my tablet's not handy either. Wait a sec. Yeah, it wasn't that hard actually. Yeah, 65, isn't it? For 195. So 65. What was I trying to do there? Yeah, divide it by 3. Yeah. Ideally 68 would have been nice. Right, and I'm jumping away ahead here, I know that, because WNR are the last ones to run. I was just looking ahead, I suppose, to try and find out. And I think that's what you need to do in this game. You need to look ahead and wonder what's going to happen with some of the other companies. Also, when you're joining up track, you can join up track to suit another company rather than yourself. I think I mentioned that earlier. It doesn't have to, as long as it's a legal trackway, it doesn't have to benefit you. It could benefit one of the other companies. But okay, so who are we operating first? The WSTL. Right. So, and they've got a 2-3 Express. Okay, and yeah, they can go right up from Port. They can go from Port to the Midlands, not scoring one of the heck. Oh no, they can't. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, my bad. They need a 4, don't they? Okay, so what's the best way of that one then? Well, I've not weighed any track yet, but at the moment I suppose it would just be 1, 2, 3, and not scoring that one. And you're allowed to do that, by the way, even though that's its home. I'm still running to there, but I just don't score that one. So I would score 50 and then the 90, so 140 there. And bear in mind, I could upgrade that track. Oh no, I can't. We can't move into Russet yet, can we? No. So we're still on green. So I can't upgrade any of them. So I need to lay some track then. So I'm as well doing that. So there's a snag there. If they're both running down into London, and I talked originally about doing this and then this. Well, that then means that this isn't happening because you cannot. I can't get an upgrade on that to suit that. So I've got to make a choice of which one is going to run down into London. Now, it could be possible that this guy could come down and cross across here. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for London. So that does work. So it was a bit of a waste of time putting this track, wasn't it? If I'm going to do that way. Well, you know what? I'm not getting down into London yet anyway, so maybe I'm getting ahead of myself by trying to weigh them. And maybe I should just consider if I upgrade this end here maybe. L&H is a freight and WSTL is an express, yeah. But they could both potentially run from the port up there to London. Okay, so if I upgraded that end tile, what can we turn that into? So it'd be that. Yeah, that's the one. So we're going to upgrade it like that. And then that way, this Y tile can hopefully upgrade. Mind they're a Y tile, they don't do everything that you'd like them to do. Oh, don't tell me. Oh no, I think I'm okay. Yeah, this one. So I could put that one in the future to come down and around. Okay. Right, we're still on track with that one. Okay, so again, I won't put a token. Don't think we need it just as of yet. And no, it actually doesn't matter which one it runs through. It can come from there or there. So 1, 2, 3, not scoring in the middle, gives us 90 plus 50. So 140 for the whistle. That moves them up 1 actually. Now the other ones I've got 4 shares in. So how much is that then? What did I say? 140. So that's 14, 28, 56. What was I getting from the other one? I think it was less than that, wasn't it? 56. So if I took 56, that'd be 206. That would give us to be able to par up three shares on the company at £68 if I took that. What did I say it was? 1,440. Ooh, and that actually gives them a 2 jump as well. And again, keeping that money would not give them enough for a train anyway. Okay, so we're going to pay out. We're going to pay out that. Because I've got 4 shares at £14 a share. That's 56. 50. Tidy some of this money up a bit. Put that back. Give myself 100. And 6. So yeah, £206. So that's nice. And like I say, it was £14 a share, so it's just a 2 jump. So 1, 2 up to 82. Yeah, that's it. Can't buy a train. Nothing to redeem. And doesn't want to acquire. Okay, next one. L&H. That's a freight. Right, so I think we probably want to try and hold back on this one anyway. Give them some money, hopefully. So it's a 2 freight. So yeah, it's only going to be able to, unfortunately that's a 30 as well, isn't it? And we can't upgrade the one, so 2 freight is only going to come 1, 2. He'll score 120 plus 30 for the bonus X in between. So 150. It's a bit less than. Well, remember they all lost trains last turn, so I think that's the best he's going to get. So again, not giving us enough money to buy a train. What did I say? Did I say 150? 90, 120, 150, yeah. For the L&H, it would give a 2 jump, but I think we're going to hold off on that. But we still haven't laid track or upgraded, so I think now. Yeah, I think we should upgrade this with a plan. Our future plan of running them both down into London. Whether I've worked that out right or not, we will find out. I suppose it's a late game kind of plan, but yeah, well. So it's that Y that we want to upgrade, and what was that Y that we want to use? That's the one that's got company E&H in it. So is there any more thoughts about possibly tokening that? We've got to remember that both the companies want a token for London, and they've only got 2 tokens. E&H. Let me say, I'm going to look at the tableau up there. Might as well let you have a look as well, I suppose. E&H. Let's just try to see if there's much going on there with them. Where are they? That's this orange banded one. Well, there's 1, 2, there's 3 shares in there. So that's a pretty decent space for another local as well, actually. I and B maybe better, but there's not much I and B out there. There's a couple actually. E&H, right, okay. Well, I don't think I'll token just yet, but mind you, I might want to start messing about with the shares this time. Although, do I need to really? I probably don't. I mean, that's me got 5 companies. I don't need to force myself into the 6th one. And I don't need to start chucking companies out the game. And the good thing about the last, your last stock round, your last operating rounds, which are, you get 3 operating rounds, you're not allowed to upgrade track anyway. So you're not allowed to lay track or upgrade track. You can't start new companies within the stock round running up to the last operating rounds as well. But you can still buy shares. And that's the stock round that you can just go right through the deck, basically. I started realising that might become a bit sort of tedious, but I think you can get stuck still. But you can just keep removing companies from the game and not really be too fussed about them, because by that time you've got your real structures all there. You're not worried, and you can't upgrade track anyway, so it's not really causing you any trouble. So, and then you find the odd shares that you can still buy, and assuming you obviously want some money running into that stock round to be able to buy your extra shares to then make your last 3 runs as profitable as possible, you know. That's how I think it should be looked at. Okay. Right, I forgot where we were, but it was L&H were about to run, and we've laid our piece of track, upgraded this piece of track. So L&H are freight, they want to come out of the water, so, and it's a 2 freight, so 1, 2, yeah, that's the best they can do. So it's 91. Yeah, I already spoke about this, didn't I? It's 150. Sorry, I think I kind of got sidetracked there. It's 90, 120, and then 30 for in between. 150. Well, I've certainly not marked it up here, so it's gone back a bit. Is that right? That's right. And at 90, 120, and it was 1. Yeah, it's 1, 2. It's only a 2 freight. Yeah, that's right. So 150, and I did say it was a 2 jump if we paid it out, but I don't need the cash, so I think I'm going to withhold that. So we withhold the drop down, unfortunately, and the company gets the cash, so 150. There's 225s in there, so I'll just cash him in for another 100. So he's got 210. Again, not enough for a train if we wanted one anyway. Okay, and not buying a train, not doing anything else. Yeah, so WNR to run. It's got a 3 freight, and we're not going to make the most of it, are we? Then I suppose upgrading. Yeah, I suppose upgrading that would be possibly our best option. What is it we want here? That one, I think. Yeah. So if we upgrade that, next turn it lets us place this, which is yeah, that was daft. That looked like a dumb play. I think I was talking about the time I was looking at the other freight that we had and thinking that if it was 2 trains we could run from port to port. And I think I obviously explained if it was 2 separate freight trains joined together, that's fine, but if it's one on its own, it can't do it. So upgrade there, and we'll run 1, 2, and unfortunately that's as far as he can go. So he's going to score the two ends, so 30 and 90 is 120, and then 30 for in between. So it's 150 as well. That's a WNR. 150. Upside down. So 150 for him as well. Yeah, that's right. I looked at that, didn't I? And I thought 3 steps would probably want to pay that one out. And he's got a C train, so it's not as mad a rush for him. Yeah, I think we probably should pay that out. I think the fact that he's quite low down on the stock market, and he's going to get a jump of 3 here. 1, 2, 3. It'll tie him with LNH, but again, it'll go underneath, so they'll still run in the same order. Yeah, going to pay that out then. So it's £45. I'll take a 5 and get 50. Well, I guess it's extra money. We could maybe run our new company even higher now, I suppose. Or look at the possibility of grabbing, there was an LNH share there, I think, wasn't there? So, and then this jumps up 3, 1, 2, 3. We'll go underneath that. And that's it. No train purchases, no redeeming, no acquiring. So that's the end. That's the end of that round. And that was the last operating round. So push these guys back in. Come around here, move this down to the next stock round. And then this is why we left this on top. We haven't bought a train, so it takes 2 rather than the 1 because we didn't buy the train. Leaving us with a D to buy next. And then that's that finished. Now these shuffle up, so I'll just do that now. I'll get a new placement. Like I say, I'm not sure. I think you probably don't want to see a 3 first this time. Maybe a 1 or 2 would be nicer. I don't know. It feels like you want it to slow down a bit, but then the 3's got to come anyway. It's going to happen at some point. Oh yeah, there we go. Let's see what we got. Oh, we have got a 1 and a 2 and a 3. So well, if that is how I think might be better. We need to remember that 3 at the end though. That's going to hit hard when it comes. So yeah. Right, on to the next stock round, and I should be able to push on with this. That's only 33 minutes, so we can probably deal with this, although we're going to do a bit this time. So let's go up and have a look. What we've got. Is that alright? Let me get a bit closer. I've got to zoom out a bit though. Right, that's about as good as I can get. So we've got 100 and we've got 251 pounds. So that's not 90. Is it 82? 81, 60, 240, 246. It is. So I could bring the new company in at 80, open it at 82. Which I think would be quite a good idea actually, because the trains are dearer now as well. So right, let's go and have a look. I'm pretty sure it's going to be that WNF. That looks like a cracking local. So I may have showed you it before, and I can't keep switching about. So so we're going to buy this. We're going to buy that. And then we're going to move these 2 across, and we're going to buy that. So that's us got our 3 shares. Now there is another one down here. That's a thought. But then, obviously, if I'd done that, they'd 4 shares at Yeah, it'd be a lower amount. Probably don't want to do that. Right, is there anything else I can manipulate there still then? No, not really. Where's the... I thought it was an L&H share I had. No. Oh, I'm forgetting this row. This column along here. Oops. That's part of it as well. We've got two columns that aren't. Yeah, but it's difficult to move the E and R's. We would have to. I did say it wouldn't be a terrible one to remove from the game if I'm not right. Not right in saying. Oh, I'll tell you something else I meant to do. It's probably because it doesn't really affect me. Hang on. Oh no, I did put the extra one in there. These, but I thought maybe I should have put a wee token. Oh, you know what? Does it matter? Showing the companies that I had. You know, like L&H. We have Whistle. We have. I don't know. It's just maybe when you're looking up at the shares. Maybe. I say I don't think it's any use to me, but anybody watching rather than because I can see the whole map, whereas these guys can't. So FDR, there's one more, no. No, we've only got 4 just now. Yeah. Well, there's going to be one more. What is it? WNF. I've just bought that. So I can't see anything else. ENR was. Did we cover that up? No, it's here. It's covered up on the. So to be honest, if we did remove that from the game, we wouldn't be able to upgrade that tile unless we had went and tokened that. So, but I don't think there's a need. I don't think there's a need to go digging for that share. I mean, what we could possibly do is buy the FDR share. You know, that's a possibility. Buy it off of the company. Do we get that at the par price or is it the stock price? Can't remember. Stock rounds. Buy a share in a company I've already bought from the top of the columns, or one which is held by the company. Price paid is as follows. Chartered shares which have not been part of a merger or refinance and are bought from the Tableau cost par price. All others cost current share price. Yeah, so that would actually cost me the share price of £78 to buy that. I don't think I'll bother with that just now, actually. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to buy the 3 WNF shares. Okay, running out of space. Let's get this. I think if we do buy the 6th one, I've maybe just got enough space for it here, but well, you've got to think I'm going to merge something at some point, but I don't know. Well, I was forced into merging things last game, but right. So that's the counters there, and then we get the local permit. The first of us seeing a local train, and then we're paring it at. Did I say 74 or did I say 82? I said 82. Yeah, I think it's 82. So 3 82s, 246. 246. That's 200 and 50. In fact, 251 and 5 change. I've got £5 left. So yes. Right. Hold on. See, here's me jumping ahead again because. Well, we don't mind. We need a D train bot anyway. It's just again, like I say, if I'm putting them in at 82. So it's actually coming in here. So it's going to be second to operate. And this is why I might not be wanting it to operate so soon. I don't think I'm going to be bothered because it can't do anything but buy a train. Now, if it was buying a train to rust some other trains, you would then want to seriously consider where you were, that company was starting, what position it was going to be in to start. So I think we're okay with that still. Yeah, let's just go with that and see. So, and then finally money. What does it say? 820 less 180 as 640. I think. 640, 740, 820, yeah. So 640, so a nice chunk of money. The D train's going to cost them 360, but you'll have some nice money left to be able to buy another train later on. And being a local, well, you'll see they actually subsidise, they get a subsidy whenever they run a train, and it goes straight to the company. Okay, so I think that's us done with the stock round. And just again, before we go into operating round, I'll just put that one on top. So if we don't buy one train, they'll take two. And then, now we're still in the two operating round phase. So again, once we buy a D train, that starts the trigger for the end of the game, sort of. But there's still plenty of time to go, don't get me wrong. And then we play through these operating rounds. Then we begin our first set of full operating rounds. And then we have our last limited stock round, and then limited last 3 operating rounds of the game when the LNER is formed. Okay, right. What's happening first then? This will start be the time I'll start seeing things going wrong, I think. WSTL. Okay. And they've got, what, they're an express, a 2-3 express. They've got a B train's going to rust on ease. Alright, so they need to work up some money as well. I really get the feeling this game's going terrible. I don't know, I feel like I'm not doing as well as I have been, which could end up being rather embarrassing. Me talking about being my last 3 games ending on 8,000. I mean, I know you don't start seeing the figures until later in the game, but I don't know. I feel like I'm not really getting very far here. We are still on the C trains, right enough. Well, about to buy a D train, maybe. Okay, well, WSTL's up here. Again, we can't upgrade any these 2 tiles, or in fact these 4 tiles. And remember, he can upgrade anything that's on his route, so he could get right up to here if he wanted to. But he's only got a 2-3 express yet again. Well, we did talk about why not just run it down, get the track laid for London. Not that we're anywhere near that, are we? But I can't give myself any great benefit to any track that I'm going to score on right now, so 1, 2, 3, no. Even if I upgraded this to join up. Oh well. Yeah, I can. I don't see any of them being. That's L&E in there, and that's NGC. Okay, I think I'm just going to upgrade this one here. um, with I think it matters. No, that's a Y. We can't do it with the Y's. Over here, like that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just going to upgrade it like that. I think. Let's see. It doesn't benefit me though. The only thing it does do is open up another station, but it doesn't really do anything. But I mean, the time that we can reach, well, actually, that's a point. We want to have this track in place before we can reach London, because the turn we can reach London, we want to place the token in London. So maybe I should have just done that, just to get that out of the way. Yeah, you know what? I think I will. That was just a straight up and down, wasn't it? Yeah, just in case I get myself caught up and sort of make a blunder and forget about it. So I'm going to lay my 2 pieces of yellow track. And I think this is the best way to go. And like I say, the main reason being, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But if you were to come straight down, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it's the same, isn't it? Why did I think that was different before? There must have been something different. I think I came this way and I had to go through these stations to get into London or something like that. So do we definitely want to do it that way then? Yeah. I'm counting that as an express, but when I count it as a freight, yeah, this is where I've got to watch. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hexes going that way, whereas it'd only be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hexes going that way. Ooh, right. And an E train to them is a 6 freight, or the F is a 7 freight. So it's the difference between one train there. And you don't get access to a 6 express until a G train, so maybe I should be considering our freight more. Maybe I shouldn't be doing it this way. So if I bring the track down into there and there, that's fine. So yeah, I don't want to do this at all, do I? We'll get there. Yeah, so if I was running it as the express and I want to come from the port, 1, 2, 3, 4. See, that's it, isn't it? Why am I? Because I'm taking another station and it going that way, am I? Somebody's built this game very craftily, I think. Because, yeah, you know, we were talking about coming around here to avoid stations. That's fine with the express, but going with the freight, it's 2 extra hexes. So if I'm going with the express and I'm trying to come from the port, it's 1, 2. I'm counting stations here, mind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I went that way, that's 6. However, if I go that way, it's 6, and then that's 7, and you don't get a 7 express. So if I want to do what I was talking about, I do need to do it that way, and it just means the freight's going to have to wait 1 train later to be able to join in the fun. Because the freight now needs to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hexes. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to stick with that. I guess that's debatable. No doubt some of you would have known a better way to do it, but... okay, so who is this? WSTL, right. And they're not running for much, are they? Still got a 2-3 Express. So, same again. They run from there, they don't count the middle. They score 140. Why have I got them at 150? Oh no, they're at 140. Just on the very edge of the camera there. So they're still paying 140. That would only be a 1 bump. But I think we're going to just hold off on that. We're going to need some money soon. So they drop back. And I mean, they are the ones we've got 4 shares in, but they need a train. Yeah, they do. And they can't even buy with that 140. What was it, 360? Am I going to be able to? 140. Well, if I earn 140 again, see, that's it. This is the other thing I found. So many times I wanted to buy a train and I've been like £10 short. Well, here we're again. That's 240 I've got just now. So if I run the same route again, then it's going to be another 140. Oh, is it enough? Oh, it is enough. Sorry, my bad. 140, 240, 380. Yeah, it's 360 for a train. Okay, we're okay that time. But I have honestly, I've had quite a few times I'm like, I'm £10 short, just £10, and you're looking and there's nothing you can do. Yeah. I even found actually I posted the question, I think, can I sell this share if I want to buy another train? You know, I was short of money and I had the share, and the only time you can do that is if you've not got enough money and you don't own a train at all and you've not got enough money. That's the only time that you can sell that share. But you can't just do it. If you've got a train, you can't do it. And I was in the position where I wanted to buy a train because the train I had was going to rust, I think. And I was £10 short of the train. Anyway. Okay, so he's holding back. He dropped back. He's not buying a train. He's not doing anything else. We move on. So W and F. So that's a new company. So W and F. Right. So they've got a bucket load of money, but no train or anything like that. But they need to get themselves started. So this is our local, and this looks a perfect local spot. I was like, yeah, it just looks really good. So how do we want to start it? Well, there's no real point going up there, really. Suppose we could come from here to possibly join with that at the time. So looks like maybe that. I think. Oh, I suppose we could try and grab that, but I think this is going to be enough. I mean, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4 stations at the most. What can the locals go up to? The locals can go up to 6 though. Well, we could always upgrade to go into there, I think, a later date. So that's my first trackway, and then the second one's going to be coming down here. and that's fine. And then our next two track lays can be here and here, and then we can run our, what train is it going to be? It's going to be a D, it's a 4 local. Ooh, can we not do something better than that then? Well, we need the WNR to maybe lay some track to suit us, but then they're having their troubles themselves. We are going to be able to learn lay russet tiles though, because this company is going to buy the D train. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, and then you could maybe go along there to 6 and grab that other wee station maybe. I'm just not sure if I should be going up here maybe rather than. No, I don't think so. No, I'll leave that like that. That's fine. Right, so we get our home on there. And then, well, we can't run. So we drop down, and it drops underneath the whistle. Again. And we do buy a train. So it's 360 we said. 2, 3, 4. And 40 change. 50. 10 back. So we've still got 280. So we need to work on that for our next train. And the permanent trains that don't rust at all start with an E, I think. Yeah, so it's E, F, G and H's that don't rust. That's your end game stuff. Right, so we purchase a train. We don't want to buy, redeem, we don't want to acquire. We're good to go. And then because we purchased a train, we'll step this back into here. Oh, and we'll get our train. Right, so this shows you the numbers of the trains. When first of these trains is bought, russet tiles. Hold on. Forgot about this. Russet tiles are available, so we can upgrade into the russet tiles. 3 operating rounds between stock rounds, but we don't move into that just yet. We need to hit the stock round first to then get the 3 operating rounds, and then, like I say, that kind of triggers the end game stuff. We get a free warranty for these trains. So I had said before about purchasing extra warranties for these, and I think I might do it because he's got cash to do it. So I'll show you. No, it's at a strange angle. So it's a 4 local, which is quite nice, and it gets a free warranty to start with. But I think I'm going to spend £100 here. You've got to do it when you buy the train. And you can have up to 3 and they cost £50 each. So £100 will get us another 2 warranties. And it worked for me before. These are going to rust on a G train being bought. The only thing that does worry me here, this is the very first D train. And they're only taking 1 away this turn. So we're going to run next operating round, then they'll take 2 away. And I'm just looking at the trains here. So I'm going to take 1 away. I'm going to lose a warranty. Next turn they're going to take 2 away. And then I'm going to lose a warranty. And then the next again turn they're going to take 3 away. 2, 3. See, that only puts us onto the start of the F trains. How many F trains is there? There's 2. Bear in mind, I'm not counting possible more than, them removing more than that many trains. I think this might not be worth it for this guy. Because he's got to run every turn. He's got to do something, whether he withholds or pays out. He's still running his train. So even if they take one away this turn, let's just say they took 3 away next turn and we didn't buy one. That'd be the first E. And let's just say they took 4 away the next turn. 3, 4. It's still not picking up a G. But we're going to have to buy something in between that though. You know what? I don't think it is worth it. I think just because it's the very first train, the very first D train we're buying, I'm going to hold off on that decision. So is that, I didn't take the money away, did I? 280, 500, 640. Yeah, that's right. So I'll leave the 1 to there. It's not, if I had 3 of them, it would make sense, but that'll just disappear. But anyway, but I think possibly the next D train we might buy. The problem with that is the rest of the companies don't have the money. This company had just started, so it had the money to do it. These guys probably struggling to afford the extra £100 after buying the train to be able to put warranties on it. Okay, never mind. We won't do that then. So end of the round, is it? No, it's not. What are you talking about? That was just W and F. Yeah, so I bought my train. That came off. They're going to remove 1 train. Yeah, we're not near the end of the round yet. Although that's me into an hour now, but I should be able to run these 2 still. 3 companies got it. Right, FDR's next. They are a 2-3 Express. Still kind of struggling away here. However, now we can place russet tiles, which might help. There's no point. How much have they got then? 192. 192. Their run could be a maximum. Well, if they've done this as a russet tile, that jumps up to 80, doesn't it? Because it's an end tile. And what is it? A 2-3 Express. Yeah, because of where our home tile is, it's not as if we can even think, let's get into London and get thinking about it, because it's got your first one of your trains has to run through your hometown. So 1, 2, 3 not scoring this would give me, and we're still in the middle band here, would give me 160 at the moment, or if we upgraded that tile, it would give me 180. Which would give 280. That would be enough for a train. Probably not any warranty, and there's no point buying just 1 warranty. I don't see the point of that. You need 2. So what did I say? 180. 190 and 180 is 370. 372. Yeah, the train's 360, so he's not even affording 1 warranty if he buys it just now. A D train, that's a 4 Express. That would jump up to, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Then if we've still got our 2, 3 there though, however, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 done. So there you go. That would be some healthy money. So, well, I think we need to upgrade to be able to afford the train, don't we? Because we're quite tight for that. I think it needs to be 180. So I think I need to upgrade that in. Oh, I could. Oh no, we're not counting that one, are we? Okay, so I think, is this the one that's Ipswich? Yeah, it is. It's got a special tile. It's just so it can't run into there, I think. Whereas the other ends have the wee track running down as well. This one obviously can't do that, so. I think so. Yeah, I think that's probably the best play. Maybe. Right, and then we run a 2-3 freight yet again. 1, 2, 3. We don't score the 20. We score 180 for FDR. And we're going to hold off. Are we going to do this? Yeah. Well, hold on, Grant. Hold on. We can't then lay track and token London next turn. Oh. So if we didn't upgrade that, so it's 60, 160, isn't it? Is there anybody else that can help? No, there's not. So 160 I don't think's enough. Wait to see that, so I'll bet you. 160 and what did we have? 192. That's 252. Sorry, 352? 352 and we need 360. £8 short we're going to be if we do it that way. And that enables us to have the track set up so that we can just token London next turn. But now we're going to have to wait an extra turn. Urgh. That's horrible. That's not fair. Right, I've just realised my battery's almost gone and I'm running out of space again as well. So rather than start the FDR, which we kind of had, I'm going to put this back to that, wasn't it? So, and then we can think about it. Hopefully I'll just add this out because we've only got 3 more operations. And again, there's another operating round to come, but they are starting to get longer now. You know. Okay, but I'll need to take a wee pause just now and free up some space and charge my phone. So, like I said, we've not quite started the operating round the FDR. That's going to be the next thing we're doing. So, I'll be back with that soon. Okay, cheers. Hi all. Right, got that bit space freed up, although camera's still charging up. I've got the cable attached just now. Yeah, I've been thinking about this off camera for a wee while about what the solution is. Let's say, if I don't upgrade and make the run, I don't have enough money to buy the train. I would do that. The train next turn, I can only lay a bit of track and not token in London. What I did realise I could do is if I upgrade here, buy the train, next turn, put track into here and then into here, and I can run from here 1, 2, 3, 4 as the 4 train. Wait a minute though. No, that's not going to work either, is it? Because I'm not going to join up. Well, hang on. Maybe the 4 train could... Yuck. 4 train could go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the 2, 3 could go 1, 2, 3. Not scoring that's already been scored. That works, I suppose. I think I need to get the train. There's no point opening up the track and setting up for London if I can't. And then next again turn I can token London, and then we can, well, to be honest, we might have lost our 2-3 by then. Okay, let's do that. What are we doing? Right, so we are we are upgrading the track after all. So we'll get our Ipswich tile back. Oops. Right. And then our run as a 2-3 express is going to go 1, 2, 3. Not scoring the middle one. So it's going to be 180, like we said. And we're going to withhold that. So unfortunately they drop again. We're not terribly far up the ladder, are we? And we get 180. Unfortunately, him having a share in his own company again, not paying out, but pretty sure next turn he's paying out. So we're getting 180, and then we're going to buy a 360. So I need to basically get 180 from, so that's 150, 60, 70, 80. Right, it's going to leave him £12 in his treasury, and that is our second D train. And again, we can't afford warranties, but no, well. You've got to remember though, that's 2 D trains we're going to have, so when we, oops, I just moved the board there. Yeah, I've got to remember when they're going to rust, it's not just the one that's going to rust, so it's just that it can sometimes be one of the companies that have got the D train that you're going to buy the train that's going to rust the other D train, and I think that's what causes the trouble. Well, we'll see if we can avoid that. I don't know. Doesn't feel like there's much money floating about. So it's a 4 Express. So it's quite nice. Rust on G's. And what have we got left? Yeah, we've not removed any trains yet. That's right. Okay. So there's still 2 D trains left. The AI is going to remove 1. I'm not so sure we're buying any more anyway. I don't really need to buy one for him. He's got a C. He does. No, we've ran him already. He's got a C. These 2 do have B's though. Yeah. It looks like they could run and withhold and probably be able to buy one. Okay. Right, who's next? Well, it's L&H is next. So let's see what they're going to do. So L&H with their 2 for 8. Again, not probably going to be able to do an awful lot. It's like they want a D train as well, don't they? And the fact that the Bs are going to rust. I can see some merging happening as we approach, because if we're going to end up with 3 or possibly 4 D trains here. Well, in fact, if we do buy D trains for the next 2, they're actually going to remove an E train. Oh. And that'll get rid of our Bs. Don't want that to happen. I'd rather operate with a B. So somebody's got to do without, or well, that's going to happen. I could also do with one of the companies actually paying out and giving me some cash. So, well, we'll see what the difference between, well, it's L&H and WNR. Alright, sorry, they've not run. Who's it? The whistles will run then? Yeah, okay. So it's L&H. So they could do with buying the B train. they would need 150. What did they run at last time? Oh, look at that, 150. Sorry, just off camera. They ran 150 last time. So with hold again, they should be able to get the same again. And then we just pay out the WNR. I think so. Put that in the wrong place, that train. Right. That D train should have had a warranty on it as well, but again, I think unless you're buying more than one, I don't really see the great need. But it might be in the multiplayer game it matters more. I don't know. Okay, so what we're doing with the track this time. Now, we talked about this for a while down here, about what was going to end up leading into London, and we had to decide going that way was the better way to do it. He's going to buy a D freight, which is going to be a 5, isn't it? Can he stretch down to the west? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he could. That's a pretty decent run. 190 plus 1, 2, 3, 4. Another 120. That's 310. That's really good. There's no problems with track there. No, and you've got to also remember the freight doesn't care about the numbers on the track in between. They still get the bonus. Like the fact that this is a 60 or this is a 20 and we could upgrade it to a 30, it doesn't matter to the freight because they count each hex as a bonus hex. So that's irrelevant to them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, they could just token London now. WSTL have already ran. It's not as if we can upgrade. I mean, we could upgrade to help them, I suppose, for their next run, because we can upgrade Russets now. And I don't think there's any point in having this joining up. It doesn't. I don't know. If it joined up with this, not so sure that helps as well. FDRs, what is an express in it? Yeah. I think that FDR is an express, probably quite happy just going from that port into London. That's a pretty good score. If it can get to that, it's probably happy with that. Well, what the whistle? They've still got their 2-3, haven't they? And they've ran. They couldn't afford a train, right? So they're still going to run at 2-3 next turn, which is rubbish, isn't it? 1, 2, 3. Not scoring that one. Yeah. So I guess we could upgrade that Y to give them an extra 10. Well, let's do that then. No, it's not that one. It's a Y, isn't it? That one. Yeah. Yeah. I think that doesn't really make much odds. Well, it will help for the future. for the WSTL. It won't really help the LNH at all. Well, where was it? I said he was going to run it. What was it? I said a 5 freight or a 4? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it doesn't matter because it's off board. They're going off board to off board. Like, you know, I don't care about the hex. Well, if you're doing it that way, obviously, if I could run it 1, 2, 3, 4 and stop there, and then that counts. It counts that hex, but we're clearly better 100 than 60, and get the extra bonus 30 for the tile, for the hex in between. Okay, so we'll go with that, and LNH. Yeah, like I've said, it's the same run. So it's from here. From here. Oh yeah, no, I guess. No, I'm talking rubbish. 1, 2. It can only go 1, 2, can it? Yeah. So it goes from here to here. Oh, well, I could have upgraded that one then. Yeah, hold on. Let's take that back. Why am I not thinking? Right, getting confused, I think. Put that Y back. What was it? It was that, wasn't it? Yeah, it was that. But I mean, if I'm running my LNH, I'm forgetting I want to run from the port. 1, 2, 3 hex sites. 1, 2, 1, 2 hex sites. It's a 2 freight, Grant. Right, okay. So we'll upgrade this. It's only going to give them another £10, but, well, £10 is £10, isn't it? Now, what are we upgrading that to? It's got to... It's coming at all angles, that one, isn't it? Could be that. Do we care about anything else, really? I mean, I suppose ideally you want to go up into Holbeck, but... Does that way work? No. No, I can't. I don't think I can. Unless it's another one. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I don't think it matters anyway. So that one. There we go. Where am I? Right, so and then it runs from here 1, 2, scores 40 and 90s 130, and it's only 30 in between, isn't it? So it's 170. I only scored 150 last time. So what have I done there? Counting that wrong? 130. No, that's 160. The last turn, it should have been 150. Right, how am I getting this wrong? Yeah, it's 160, Grant. It's only 10 more. Yeah. I think I said 170 at first, didn't I? 90, 130, and then 30 in between, 160. Oh, I don't know. Tell you what, it does mess with your head, this. And we're not even in the tricky bit, really. So 160, it's going to pay. And what are we doing with that again? Yeah, we're fine. I thought I was panicking there. I thought we were £10 short again. We're not. So we're going to withhold on that as well. And WNR is going to pay out, hopefully. Yeah, we've got another operating round before the next stock round anyway. Right, so pay out 160 for LNH, so it means they drop down. And pay out 160, but they're going to buy a train, which is 360. So we'll just take the 200. They're going to buy a train, aren't they? Yes. So 200 back. They're going to buy... is, oops, from before, a 5 for 8. So we've got a 7 for 8 in total. So yeah, I'm forgetting they've got to join up, haven't they? Well, it's fine. I don't need to use up the whole 7. I can just cut it short as long as they're just one continuous line. At least I think that's the case. I don't think you have to use the whole amount. So yeah, so there's the 2 trains again. You should, I suppose, technically you should have a warranty on them. It gets a free warranty as a D train. Right, that's it. So last one. Let's get the last one done, and then we can probably cut the video there, because it's going to be an hour and a half maybe. WNR. Right, what are they doing? Oh, they were in a mess for the start, weren't they? They're freight. Oh, but they got a C train, so they're a 3 freight. So what clever things can they do? Oh yeah, they can't do what I wanted them to do, that's right. Oh yeah, we were going to try and run down it here, weren't we? To get something out of it. This is that. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's right. And by doing that, is that interfering with... Well, no, because our local's going to come around here, up here, in here. Or it could go around, yeah. So we're going to have the end tail in play anyway. Right, where are we? So it either goes that way, which I think is the way we want it, yeah. It's that way or that way, and we don't want to go in there. We want, if anything, our local will turn here, you know? It might do a sort of sharp into there, maybe. But I might not, and then that'll just be not used, that's fine. Yeah, I'm going to have to watch. I'm going to have to token that LNH I just looked at. I'm going to have a token somewhere to run it next turn. Which is fine, that's fine. So that's a tile weight, and then we run the WNR as a 3 freight coming from here. 1, 2, 3. So scoring 40 and 90, it's 130. 130, and then 2 tiles in between from the port as an R60. So 190. 190 for the WNR. And I'm just hoping they're going to pay out, because they're the one that's got the C train. There's only one of them, but there's 3 D trains out, and that's the worry. That's why I kind of wish they'd got 3 warranties on one of them. The only one I could have done it on was the first one though, and I just don't think it would have lasted. So, never mind. Right, so WNR running for 190, £19 a share. I've got 3 shares, 319s, 57. 57. Some money, whacking money for a while. And then 19, oh that's nice, it's just 3 bumps. So 1, 2, 3, now here we go. He's going to be first to operate next turn. Is that a problem? Don't think so, but we shall see. Okay, so no train purchases. That's the end of that operating round. So I'll put all our tokens back in. ready for the next operating round. We'll swing around and move that down to the next operating round. Remember, there's 2 this turn, and we've got 1 train to remove. So that is going to be the last D train, and that's why I had to watch, because if I'd bought 1 more D train, then he would have purchased the first E train and rusted all our Bs. So at least now well, it's not really in our hands, because we've probably not got the money to buy. And the thing is, once we buy one, we rust them ourselves. That's a nasty procedure, all that. I'm sure some of these guys that have played these games before have been through all this before, the rusting of trains, and when it happens, it can be kind of painful. In this game, you're playing by yourself, so it's really yourself that's letting it happen, or... Anyway. Okay. Right, I'm going to cut there then, because that could be... I think that's about an hour and a half for this part, so... and then we've got 1 more operating round. Then we move into the 3 operating rounds. Well, sorry, we'll have a stock round first. Then the full 3. Then the LNERs form. We have that limited stock round. 3 more, which run pretty quick because you can't upgrade. So the only thing that could come in if you could buy another train, which I think one of my games I was able to buy 1 train in between. But the last game I didn't. So you just calculate 3 all at once, really. Okay, I'll be back with the next operating round soon. Okay, cheers.